that for like 14 years. In the beginning, it was just a hobby. We lost money first couple of years. And then eventually it grew, and I was doing that while I was going to uni. I came along to Morocco, spent some time there, started looking for old records, and I found some stuff, and in this particular case, a Moroccan artist called Fadul, who was making music kind of inspired by the sounds of James Brown and funk and rock. And I made some mix, put it on SoundCloud. It's like within, I think, 2 or 3 weeks, it had like more than 100,000 clicks. And then like I came up with the ideas. I already knew how a label works, how distribution works, how you manufacture records and so forth. I came up with the idea that it would be cool to try to find the artist and start re-releasing this particular music where I felt like there was a gap between, on the one hand, a lot of people liking it, on the other hand, not being available. So yeah. Basically, yeah, what motivates me is when I see music that I think is really good and should be heard, but nobody's, like, it's not accessible, and yeah, this is what we're trying to bridge. It didn't have a name when I started making these DJ mixes, and someone just used it, put it as a comment under one of the DJ mixes, and then occasionally we picked up the word as well. And whenever like a blog would write about any of the mixes or of the music, they would always pick up this term. And then we were like, yeah, all right, it's actually a good idea for a label name. I'm interested in this type of music where there's an exchange, where like musicians brought together the influences of like their local musical heritage with something coming from outside, and that may be funk, that may be jazz. We sign artists we like, and we usually just sign them for a project, so artists retain like a lot of independence. We don't sign them for years, we split profits 50-50. So what we're doing is on Jakarta is the classic indie label deal that you used to have. And yeah, in comparison to Habibi Funk, it doesn't have a focus on the Arab world. It's like a lot of European artists, a lot of American artists, and it's like more contemporary sounds, from left field hip hop to bass music to slightly electronic stuff. It's kind of open to whatever we like. What we are doing, I think, can be like a tiny piece of a puzzle of like an alternative narrative that opposes the very stereotypical ideas a lot of people have about the Arab world. For me personally, it's mainly about music, but it has a certain effect for like trying to show that there's also different things, not just whatever you hear in mainstream media. For specifically just looking for records, I think Egypt is actually pretty cool because there's still a number of shops, and unlike in many other countries, they still get new records. So they still actively look to find new stock, and therefore whenever I come, there's new records to look at. In general, Egypt, for looking for records, Egypt is super nice. There's at least 2 albums from Morocco, there's an album from Lebanon we're working on. So now I'm going to focus on finishing some of these records we already have made deals for, we have already made interviews for, and I just have to finish the work.